This is the second of two podcasts in which I've focused on paracetamol combination products. Now, in the first part of the podcast, I gave an introduction to these products and talked about two common errors involving the drugs. And in this second part, I'm now going to talk about a third common type of error. But before I talk about that error, I want to give a very basic overview of how the body breaks down paracetamol. Now, paracetamol metabolism is quite complicated, so this is a very simplified way of looking at it, and if you want more details, please do ask your pharmacist. Anyway, here we have some paracetamol, and here we have a human liver, one that bears an uncanny resemblance to a well-known South Park character. When paracetamol is taken at a normal dose, it reaches the liver, and the liver breaks it down into safe, non-toxic metabolites, which can then be excreted by the body. Now, a problem arises if we overload the liver with too much paracetamol. Now, this can occur if there's an overdose of paracetamol, either accidental or intentional. And in this case, the liver's ability to produce safe metabolites basically becomes overwhelmed, and there ends up being a buildup of toxic metabolites. And these toxic metabolites can cause irreparable damage to the liver and sometimes also to the kidneys. And in serious cases, the damage to the liver can prove fatal. And the fact that paracetamol overdose can be so dangerous is why there are strict guidelines about the doses that can be used. So for normal adults, the maximum dose of paracetamol is 1 gram, that's 2 500 milligram tablets, every 4 to 6 hours, up to a maximum of 4 grams daily. The dose can be lower if it's being used in children or in somebody with liver damage, for instance, but the dose is never going to be any higher than this. So never give more than 1 gram at a time, never give it more frequently than 4 hourly, and never give more than 4 grams a day. So anyway, this leads us on to the third type of error that I wanted to talk about, which are cases in which a service user has been given too much paracetamol and so has been put at risk of that liver damage that I've been talking about. One of the reasons that people receive too much paracetamol is that sometimes different products containing paracetamol are accidentally combined. So occasionally we see this kind of thing where a patient is prescribed paracetamol at the maximum dose, then the same patient ends up being prescribed something else containing paracetamol, like cocodamol, for instance, often on the PRN side of the chart. So this could occur, for example, maybe because the prescriber didn't read the prescription chart properly, or because they forgot to cross out one of the prescriptions. Also, bear in mind that many over-the-counter products for cold and flu contain paracetamol. So if someone is prescribed 2 cocodamol tablets 4 times a day, that means they'll already be receiving the maximum dose of paracetamol, so you shouldn't administer anything else containing paracetamol, like any of these over-the-counter treatments. Another common mistake that results in service users receiving a paracetamol overdose is when staff don't take enough care administering medication from the PRN side of the medication chart. In this case, you can see the service user has ended up being given cocodamol 6 times within a 24-hour period, and the last 2 doses were not at least 4 hours apart. So when using the PRN side, always check when the drug was last given and check the total dose that has been given that day. So to summarize then, using paracetamol combination products, make sure that you pick the correct strength of cocodamol. Don't confuse cocodamol with codidromol, and take care not to exceed the recommended dose of paracetamol. Thank you for watching.